In a big city called Lagos, there lived a man named John. He was one of the richest men in Nigeria. People called him the Money King because he had everything: cars, houses, planes, and even a private island. But John was not happy. Every day, he sat alone in his big mansion. He had no wife. He had no children. His friends only wanted his money. He was lonely, even with all his riches. One morning, John was being driven to a meeting. As his car stopped at a red light, he saw something strange by the roadside. A woman with dirty clothes was dancing and singing loudly. Her hair was wild, and her feet were bare. "Who is that?" John asked his driver. "Ah, sir, she's just a mad woman," the driver replied. "She stays near the market. People call her Lilian." But John kept looking at her. There was something in her eyes, something sad and deep. She danced like she didn't care who watched, and she sang like her heart was broken. For days, he could not stop thinking about her. He asked around and found out that Lilian had been living on the street for years. No one knew her story. One day, John told his guards, "I want to meet that woman. Bring her to my house, but treat her with care." His workers were shocked. "Sir, a mad woman? Are you sure?" "I said treat her well," he repeated. The next day, Lilian was brought to the mansion. She screamed and tried to run. She was scared. But John told the nurse to give her food, clothes, and a clean bed. "I don't want to hurt you," he said softly. "I just want to help you." Lilian stayed quiet for many days. She didn't talk. She didn't laugh. She just stared at the walls. But John didn't give up. Every day, he came to sit with her. He brought her food himself. He told her stories about when he was a poor boy in the village. Slowly, Lilian began to eat. Then, she started to nod when he spoke. After a week, she said her first word, "Water." John smiled. "You will be okay," he said. "Just take your time." The doctor came to check on her. "She has been through something terrible," the doctor said. "Her mind is hurt, but her heart is still alive." One night, John heard her crying. He sat beside her bed and held her hand. She said something in her sleep, "My baby. They took my baby." The next day, he asked her, "Did you have a child?" Lilian looked at him and nodded. "A daughter," she said. "They took her away. Long ago." From that day, John made a promise. "I will help you find your daughter," he said. "No matter what it takes." Lilian started to smile sometimes. She began to dress in clean clothes. Her hair was brushed. People no longer called her mad, they said she was changing. But not everyone was happy. John's workers started whispering. "Why is our boss spending time with a mad woman?" they asked. "Is he in love with her?" And the truth was, yes, he was. John didn't know how or why, but he had fallen in love with Lilian. Not for her beauty, but for her spirit. Her pain. Her courage. He wanted to protect her forever. John began to smile more. He laughed again. People noticed. "Boss is in love," his guards said. "He has not been this happy in years." But trouble was near. Some of John's rich friends came to visit. When they saw Lilian, they laughed behind his back. "Is this your new queen?" one of them asked. "A woman from the streets? A mad woman?" John stood up and said, "She is not mad. She is strong. And yes, I love her." The room went silent. The men looked at each other. One of them whispered, "He must be going mad too." Later that night, John sat outside with Lilian. "Do you think I'm crazy for loving you?" he asked. She looked at him with soft eyes. "I don't know why you love me," she said. "But I thank God you do. No one ever loved me before." He touched her hand gently. "I don't care what people say. I know what I feel." The next morning, he told his workers, "From today, treat Lilian with respect. She is part of my family." But the gossip continued. News spread across the city. Reporters started writing headlines, "Billionaire falls in love with street woman. John's secret love shocks the nation." Cameras showed up at the gate. Paparazzi tried to sneak pictures. Some people laughed. Some were angry. But many others were touched. They said, "Maybe love is still real." John hired the best private investigator in the country. "Find Lilian's daughter," he said. "Start from the village where she was born." The man traveled far. He went to dusty villages, asked old women, and looked through hospital records. After 2 weeks, he found something. She was taken to an orphanage in Delta, the investigator said. Then adopted by a family in Port Harcourt. "Do you know where she is now?" John asked. "Yes. She is alive. And she's 20 years old." John was shaking. He ran to Lilian and said, "We found her. Your daughter is alive." Lilian cried and fell to her knees. "Thank you, God," she shouted. I thought she was dead. I thought I would never see her again. Her daughter's name was Amara. She was studying medicine in the university. She had no idea her real mother was still alive. John sent a kind message to Amara, asking to meet her. "Your real mother wants to see you," the letter said. "She never stopped loving you." At first, Amara was confused. "My real mother?" She asked her foster parents. They nodded and said, "Yes. We adopted you when you were a baby. It is time you knew the truth." Amara agreed to meet them in Lagos. John and Lilian waited at the airport. When she stepped off the plane, Lilian ran to her and hugged her tight. "My baby. My sweet baby," Lilian cried. Amara held her and said, "I don't remember your face, but my heart feels warm. I believe you're my real mother." John threw a small party at his mansion to celebrate. There was music, food, and smiles everywhere. For the first time in years, Lilian danced again, this time not on the street, but with joy in her heart. Amara stayed with him for a few days. She and her mother talked for hours each night. "Tell me everything," she said. "Even the sad parts." Lilian told her about the pain, the street, the madness. Amara hugged her tightly. "You are strong, Mama," she whispered. But not everyone was happy. A man named Barrister Matthew, John's business rival, started planning something evil. He wanted to destroy John's name. "If I can't beat him with money, I'll shame him with secrets," he said. He paid a reporter to write lies in the newspapers. Mad woman controlling billionaire's fortune. Witchcraft or true love? The lies spread fast. Some people started protesting outside John's companies. Investors got scared. "Sir, your shares are falling. People are pulling out," his manager warned. John was angry. "Let them go. I will not hide my love. I will not be ashamed." Lilian felt guilty. "Maybe I should leave," she said. "I'm causing you trouble." John held her face gently. "No. You gave me a reason to live again. I'll fight for you." That night, someone tried to break into the mansion. But the guards stopped the intruder just in time. It was one of Matthew's men. "Sir, he had a gun," a guard said. "I think someone wants to hurt you." John doubled the security. "Let them come," he said. "I am not afraid." But deep inside, he knew, this was no longer just about love. It was a battle. He held Lilian and Amara close. "They may hate us," he said, "but we have each other. And no money in the world is better than that." John called a press conference. Reporters filled the hall. Cameras clicked. Everyone wanted to hear what he would say. He stood beside Lilian and Amara. "I have nothing to hide," he said. "This woman was once broken, but she is whole now. She was once mocked, but she is strong now. And I love her." The crowd went quiet. Then someone clapped. Then another. Soon, the whole room was clapping. One reporter stood up and said, "Sir, thank you for reminding us that love is not about money." After that day, the noise died down. The people who laughed before now stayed silent. And some even came forward to say, "Sorry. We judged her too fast." John's businesses started rising again. The public now saw him not just as a rich man, but as a man of heart. His name became stronger than ever. One sunny morning, John took Lilian to the village where he was born. He showed her the mango tree he planted as a boy, the river where he used to swim, and the small mud house where he once lived. He knelt under that tree and said, "This is where I made a promise to myself, to become someone. And now, I want to make a new promise." He pulled out a ring. "Marry me, Lilian. Let's build a new life together." From this tree to the world, Lilian cried and laughed at the same time. "Yes," she whispered. 1,000 times, yes. Their wedding was small but beautiful. Amara stood beside them with joy in her eyes. People from all over came to watch. Even those who once called her mad now called her Madam. After the wedding, they started a foundation to help women who lived on the streets. "No one should suffer like I did," Lilian said. "Let us lift others up." They gave food, clothes, training, and love to many women. Some were mad. Some were lost. But all of them were given hope again. John built a hospital and named it Amara Hope Center, after their daughter. It treated street children, mothers, and the poor for free. Years passed. Lilian became a speaker. She told her story in schools and on TV. "Don't look down on anyone," she always said. "Love can heal even the deepest wound." And John? He kept smiling. He no longer needed more cars or more money. He had something better, a wife who made him whole, a daughter who made him proud, and a life full of meaning. The end.